today we are going to give you our top 10 camping essentials.
Plus one more. We couldn't make 10, had to be 11.
That made me jump there.
Let's get into it then.
Apologies if
This does not need to be a 45-minute video, does it?
Go on then.
So,
right, speedy.
So, this is for any camper van, not just to California, so these aren't Cali specific. So, number one.
This was one of the best purchases we've ever made. The Outwell Collapse Kettle. Comes in two different sizes. This is the smaller one of the two, and it's cracking. Absolutely fantastic.
Works a treat, just what you want.
Yeah.
So everybody needs a kettle. Second most important thing in a camper van.
Again, bought these a couple of years ago. Fantastic. These were from, what was it? Van X, that was it. Again, kind of collapsible-ish, but yeah. Wine glasses.
Magnet in the bottom as well, which means it stays together.
Portable wine glass, they call it. Goes in its own little case.
Job's a good one.
Boom.
What have we got next? Dock and bay towels.
These took me a bit longer to discover. We started off with some decathlon things and all sorts, but you know, space is key in the van. And these dock and bay towels are ultra thin microfiber, and they dry really, really quickly. They're really lightweight. I bought probably ones that are a little bit too big because I used
large.
These are the extra large.
A little bit smaller would be better.
To give you some idea of the extra large, they fit under a yoga mat, still with about that much all the way around a yoga mat. So they make for a brilliant beach towel.
And they fold up to that size. They do come with their own bag as well. We don't tend to use the bags, but once we've used these in a shower, we tend to just chuck them over a headrest at the back, and they're dry within a couple of hours worth of drive, or an hour or so's worth of driving.
And I also bought one of these, which I've got one of these at home actually as well, which is their kind of hair wrap thing. So over your head, spin it round, tie it up, and the little elastic bit goes into the button there, and you can walk back from the showers without having wet hair dripping down your back.
Is that of any use to me?
Not to you,
right.
No. To those of you who have got hair.
Okay, what have we got next? We've got a bit of a list. So, porta potty.
Yeah.
Clearly we're not going to demo that for you, but there will be a bit of footage which you'll see now, and you'll be able to see that it fits really neatly just under the shelf at the back. It's a Thetford 335, I think it is. We use the green recyclable tablet things, or the eco-friendly ones. You can either buy liquid, or we buy these little sachets that you keep in a pot in the little garage bit at the boot. Sealable pot.
Again, we'll show you a picture of that.
Dead easy.
You have to use the special toilet paper, the Thetford toilet paper,
which then dissolves and everything
else. It's not cheap.
It's super clean, isn't it? There's never any spillage or anything leaking or anything. It's just
would not do without it.
Really, really good. So number 5 is our trusty Ridge Monkey. We had a very early version of this which had the fixed handles and everything, and it came in a massive great nearpin case. We hardly ever used it, did we? It didn't come apart. I'll show you in a second. It didn't come apart. The handles didn't come across.
To wash up.
Oh, it was a nightmare. This one, super small, as you can see. Little zip on the side there. You can pull it straight out. There it is. Inside here, you've got 2 handles, a tool set underneath, and then the best bit of all is that these just come apart like that. Dead easy, so you can use 2 of them on the stove at once if you've got 2 things that you want to fry.
Scrambled egg, black pudding, or bacon.
You read my mind.
Yeah.
Then they just clip back together like that, close up.
With the little tool set.
And then the handles literally clip on either side like that. They're magnetic as well, so it stays shut. If you're doing a toasty, you can just flip it over either side. So universal. Absolutely everybody who's got a camper must have a Ridge Monkey. It's just, why wasn't this number 1? I'd have this over the kettle. Definitely.
This man does not come from Yorkshire. He's not into his tea all that much, apparently.
Definitely. Well, we haven't got into the beer stuff yet.
We haven't got it.
So yeah, definitely Ridge Monkey. Number 6.
This we spotted. I think somebody actually had one on a club meet that we saw. And this is an Outdoor Revolution rechargeable light and mosquito killer.
So press button number 1 and hopefully you can see there's a little mosquito lamp inside, complete with dead flies. Lovely. And then it's got a 3-stage lamp on the bottom. So 1, 2, 3, and then back off again. And obviously you can turn the mosquito thing off there. USB rechargeable, dead straightforward, nice. It's kind of soft rubber, so if it falls off anything or whatever, that's fine. Even the handle on the top, so you've got a hook for one, then you can pull this bit up and you've got a hook, so you can actually like just hook it over things. It's really, really good and not very expensive either. I can't remember. Put it in the comments.
£15, something like
we'll put it in the description below. Really good, and it does actually work. We've caught midges with this as well, so definite winner. What have we got next? Tie down straps for the awning. If you haven't seen the video that we've done on those already, so for your rollout awning, some storm straps which go down to the bottom, check our video out up here. It's only a couple of minutes long. We'll explain all about those. We think they're an essential as part of our top 10.
We bought those before we got our first van, because we'd heard so many horror stories about awnings being ripped out of the ground and over the top of the roof.
We really wanted to make sure we had those and that they were decent. So that's those. Spare safe. So if you've got a Volkswagen Transporter, if you've got a spare wheel, I hope you've already got one of these, so they shouldn't be news to you. But if you don't, go round to the back of your van, have a look underneath it. You'll see how your spare wheel is held on, and it's literally held on with a couple of bolts. And if somebody wanted to come along and just whip off your spare wheel and then go and flog it on eBay, they just need to undo 2 bolts and they've got it. So we really wanted to make sure that wasn't going to happen to us. There's something called a spare safe, which is other things do exist for this kind of thing, but we use a spare safe. Little bent piece of metal, security bolt inside. It covers up one of those bolts, so you're just not going to get it out. You know, you'd have to be under there with an angle grinder for a really long time to be able to get past this. It's just essential. Again, we bought it before we got our van, our original van, and put it on the day. And we've only got a steel spare, we haven't got an alloy. So if you've got an alloy spare, even more essential that you have one of those. And again, not a lot of money compared to buying a whole new wheel and tyre and the carrier and everything else, because it starts to get expensive.
Yeah.
Right, number 9 is a bit of hookup kit.
Cheating, because we're saying more than one thing really here for number 9.
Now this, I'd say number 9 is optional. If you're always going to be either off grid or not on campsites or not bothered about hookup, you can skip past this. If you are going to be on a campsite and you want to use hookup, I think there's a few really key essentials which are just fantastic. Number 1 is, guess what, a collapsible kettle. So this is a Quest small little kettle. It's 1100 watts, mains powered, as you can see, short cable, plugs into the end of the kitchen on a Cali really well. If you've got a big inverter in your own camper, obviously you could use one of these, but nice and small because it collapses down. It doesn't have a heating element inside. It's got one of those hot plates, a bit like you get in a kettle at home. So it's quite quick as well. Auto off too. So yeah, really good, really good. Clearly you also need a hookup cable. 25 meter long is kind of standard. You can also buy an adapter at the end that allows you to plug it into main socket on the house or in a garage or something like that if you wanted to, just to charge the leisure batteries or camp in your garden. The other thing we've got is a small fan heater, which is selectable between 750 watts and 1500 watts. It's quite small. We've also got a plug-in thermostat for that, which gets it to kick in and out.
Yeah, now that is excellent. For just trying to keep the van at a nice stable temperature overnight. You know, we tend to sleep upstairs most of the time, but we leave the dog down here, so you've just got no idea how cold it's getting when she's on the floor down here, so we just leave that plugged in.
And again, if you're on a site and you want to use their power instead of your diesel heater, if you've got one in your van, if you haven't got a diesel heater and you're used to using electric and stuff, that little thermostat plug thing is just worth its weight in gold. It really is good.
I have to thank some of our friends for that. Actually, they gave us the idea on that one.
They did. Right, number 10, something we use probably twice a day when we're in the van camping. This.
It's the same range as the kettle. It is the Outwell Collapse washing bowl. Now, You do obviously have a washing up bowl in the van, but it's quite small. And quite often you are taking all of your stuff down to a campsite kitchen, or just wanting to store things that you're going to have to wash up later, even if you are using your little washing up bowl.
If you're cooking,
here.
you need somewhere to shove stuff which is dirty while you're in the middle of cooking or whatever.
Yep.
Absolutely bang on.
It's superb. We just keep it in the drawer under the bench seat.
Folds so nice and flat. It also fits that way inside a Kelly kitchen as well. So if you wanted to store it in there, you can do. It's just small enough to keep anywhere. Loads of places are doing these now in all different colours, but we've had this one for ages. But yeah, absolutely fantastic.
So that's our top 10 then.
That's the top 10, and the bonus one, which isn't kind of a bonus naturally, it probably is higher than 10 in our list, is the thermal windscreen cover. So this is an outdoor wrap which goes around the side windows at the front and the windscreen, clips around the wing mirrors, you put it underneath the wipers, and it's thermally insulated, which means that overnight you don't get any condensation inside the van, even though you're sleeping in it. So nothing on the inside of the windscreen, nothing on the side windows, and it means that in the morning you can just go and take that off. We've got a really small fold-up dry bag that we can keep it in if it's soaking wet, because if it's been raining overnight. So you can roll it up, put it in that, and you've got no condensation in the van whatsoever. We've tried using the blinds in the California and the side fabric things on the front windows and stuff. They're not very dark, especially the side windows, but the condensation on the windscreen is not nice really. When you get up in the morning, it's dripping down your windscreen.
I think the only time they would properly work really is if you're in a really warm climate, to be honest, but otherwise they're fairly useless. And to be honest, I think they're more of a faff to try and do those across the windscreen and magnets and things. And once you've turned the chairs around, to try then and lean across and pull your blinds across the windscreen. The only problem with the windscreen one is if it's throwing it down with rain and you get onto a site and you just really don't want to get out to do anything at all, then fine, you know, that's where I could see some of the internal ones being okay. And Brandrup do a set which is much more fitted in the windows, thermal and everything else. So, you know, there are other, which we haven't tried yet.
We haven't tried those yet, but we've had that windscreen cover for 3 years.
Well, again, I think we bought it before we actually picked up our first van, so 3.5 years now we've had it.
And when you're on a site, you know, you look round, we're on a site at the moment, you look round, most of the vans here have windscreen covers, although ironically we've just had a look around and nobody's got them. However, it is the middle of the afternoon, so unless something else was going on in the van, they probably wouldn't need the windscreen cover on at this time of day.
Yeah.
I
think that's probably about it.
So we hope this has been useful for you. We try to think of things which we wish we knew when we first got our first camper, and share those things, because if you can fast track to the good stuff where you're not missing something when you're on a site,
wasting a load of cash on stuff that
we need to do a video on the stuff that we've bought and then sold. Because we don't use it. We do need to do that. Watch out for that video in the future at some point. So I think that's it. So there's our top 11, 10 plus 1.
Let us know what your top 10 plus 1 might be.
What are we missing out of our list? What have we not found yet, which is your essential item? Tell us in the comments below. Let's get the conversation started. Really want to hear from you. Thank you very much for watching. It's always really valuable to us that you're there, you're watching. It inspires us to do more. So please join us again soon for some more California time.